Hey guys, this is Nathan, and welcome back to TechNodeFirmaCraft. So we're going to continue on and do a whole bunch of stuff in immersive engineering today, but the first thing that I want to do is take a look at our old blast furnace, which used to sit right here. So this blast furnace was what we originally built to replace our Railcraft blast furnace. Now, it was slightly better at that time, but the upgrade to immersive engineering here a few weeks ago nerfed that blast furnace to where it was worse than the Railcraft version. So there is an updated version to the blast furnace, and that uses these reinforced blast bricks. Now, all that we had to do to get these was tear down the old blast furnace and put them in the crafting grid. So to build this blast furnace, and this one looks nice. I've already put it together once, but we do the exact same thing again. Put down a 3x3x3 block of these reinforced blast bricks, and then we have to put a hopper on top of it. Now when we click on this thing, it's quite impressive. Now there's a couple of things that are different here. First off, we have an extra slot here for slag. This will push out of the machine from the back, I believe. And this thing will push its inventory out. You don't have to pull it out, and that's kind of nice. So if we were to put a chest in front of this, or, well, we can't do it with the bins because they have to input from the top, but we could put a better barrel back there, and it would automatically accept the outputs of this blast furnace. The next thing is we have ports on the side of this thing. Now, looking through the engineer's manual, we find that this is for preheaters. Now, the preheaters is a secondary multi-block that will interact with the blast furnace, and it's made with 2 sheet metal blocks, an external heater, and a fluid pipe. So most of this stuff is pretty easy to make, and we can put 2 of those on the sides of the blast furnace. Now, those things take 32 RF a tick to power them, so they are a powered heater, but it's supposed to improve the speed of the blast furnace. So the external heater, if we look here, the external heater takes a copper wire coil, some copper, some wrought iron, and some redstone. So I've got that recipe set up here. We're going to go ahead and make up 2 of those. The sheet metal blocks were just some tin sheets with a hammer. Pretty easy to do. To make those, I just ran some tin ingots through our metal press. It's really nice and simple, fast, and easy to do. And finally, we needed some fluid pipes, and these guys are even simpler yet. Wrought iron sheet with a hammer makes 4 of them. So we've got everything that we need. Now, I am not entirely sure how these need to hook on. I would imagine the fluid pipes need to go here. Then we go with the heater and the sheet metal blocks. And we'll just see if this is correct. I don't know. So we'll go ahead and see. All of a sudden, I can't do anything. Okay. I don't know. Well, let's try this a little different. So if we put the external heater there, sheet metal blocks, I don't know, we'll put that there. That doesn't seem right. Okay. We're rotating that. Well, I might have to do a little bit of checking to figure out exactly how this thing works, but we're going to put both of those onto the sides of the blast furnace. We'll hook some power up to it. That way we can get our steel a little bit quicker. And then we will continue on trying to get our arc furnace working. So I'm going to figure out these preheaters and I'll be back. I feel like a total idiot. That's not a multi-block. That's a crafting recipe. So we'll go ahead and put this down here. It looks like, yep, okay. It faces in the direction that you're facing. So we'll put that right there. We'll put the other one over here. And now we need to get some power on these things. And it looks like our power input is on the top. So I'm sure that the blast furnace will complain, or the wires will complain that the blast furnace is in the way. Yep, I figured as much. So we will... Oh, where will we take our power to? Let's go to right here. On the face of this one forge. So we're going to hook our power back to these guys. And then we'll hook this up to our main grid. And I suppose... Oops. What did I do? Connection already exists. Oh, whatever. Okay, so now these guys should have power. Yes, they do. So now what we'll do is we will take a stack of iron, a stack of charcoal, and we're going to put this in here and see what that does. So before this was really, really slow, and it looks like we're pretty much as fast as a normal vanilla furnace now. That is great. That will make things so much better. So I would imagine these things only will use power when the furnace is active, but I might have to keep an eye on that. I don't want to be wasting power if we don't need to. And immersive engineering does have shutoffs for the power. Let's see here, right here, a breaker switch. And these guys are pretty easy to make. We need a lever, a copper ingot, and some hardened clay. And this will literally just disconnect the wires. As of yet, I haven't really found a use for them because it's pretty easy to break the connector and then place it back down. But for things like our thermionic fabricator from the forestry nook, yeah, that probably would be a good idea to make one of those. But so this thing really goes fast. I think what I'm going to do, I am going to take, I'm pretty sure we have some better barrels around here. Yes, okay, so I'm going to take a better barrel and set it right here and just, yep, there we go. Okay, rather than a better barrel, though, I think we would be better off to just put a chest there. That way, we can also have, like, the red steel, blue steel, and black steel ingots going into there as well. So, yep, we'll go ahead and let that do its thing. And I think, let's just try this. I think we can put that up on top and put a little bit of iron in it, and it will automatically feed into this thing? No? Let's try a hopper up there. Because putting a hopper on top to me tells me that we can automatically feed into this thing. And also it said in the book that this thing can be automated. So let's try putting a hopper up here, see if it's required. Okay, yep. So we can put a hopper up there and it will automatically keep this filled. And I would imagine then we can keep our fuel stocked somehow too. Let's take a logistical transporter for this. How could we do this? Well, let's look in the book and just see if it says anything. So iron and coal are fed in through the top. Okay, so what we would want to do then is pull our charcoal bin here, and then we'll place that. Not there. We'll place our charcoal bin on top of the hopper. And so now that should keep our charcoal filled. It will keep our wrought iron filled, and we should end up with, I think it was 4 stacks of steel when this thing is done. So that is awesome. Really liking that. I think we're going to move this bin with the slag so that we can have it back here in the back. And I suppose what we'll do, we'll just dig a little bit here so that we can see how much there is. We'll place this here, and we'll place our, wait, yeah, that's a logistical transporter. So we'll place that back there, we'll grab our configurator, we'll set this up. Well, we shouldn't even have to, should we? Oh, will this not connect? Let's get this back to none. Oh, that won't connect. Well, that stinks. Okay, well, that didn't work, but just the same, we don't need that out the front. I may have to do some checking on that. I'm pretty sure that it would push it into a chest just like the main output, but we'll figure that out. So I am going to get the blocks crafted up that we need so that we can make that crusher, so that we can continue on to get that arc furnace going, and I will be back in a little bit. Oh, I just love how fast this thing does the work for me. So I'm currently trying to get all the stuff together to make the hoppers for the crusher, and so to do that we have made ourselves a hopper mold. Now this will make the TerraFirmaCraft hopper, and this guy then we need for quite a few things actually. We can make the omnidirectional hopper from PneumaticCraft, which eventually we will be getting into PneumaticCraft. We can make the liquid hopper from PneumaticCraft, and we can make our regular hopper for Minecraft with a chest and a hammer. And that is also used in making that mold. So yeah, this will be a lot easier. The only thing is to make those hoppers, we need to actually use a block of steel. So we've got to run these through here a couple of times. After we get the double sheets, then we will place in the block mold, and then we can put in the lightning. We might need to look into some lightning rods, I don't know. But looks like our hopper is full. But we'll be able to run blocks through there and turn those into these hoppers. So I'm going to get that done, get the rest of the pieces put together, and I'll be back. Well, I've got all the stuff together to make the crusher now. So we needed 10 steel scaffolding, 11 light engineering blocks, 8 steel fences, and 9 hoppers. So we're going to go ahead and set this thing up now, and I think what we're going to do is set it up right next to the arc furnace. So if we look in the book at the configuration of this, it's 5 long and 3 wide. Well, the arc furnace was 5 by 5, so we'll just set this here, and we'll leave enough room for any piping or ductwork that we might need. Well, I suppose we'll move over 3 blocks. So let's see here, the lowest level of this thing, and we'll pause this, is 3 light engineering blocks, 3 scaffolding, 2 light engineering blocks, and 1 scaffolding, and then some more scaffolding. So we'll go 3 light engineering blocks, and then the 2 light engineering blocks, and then the rest of this is all scaffolding. And yeah, we're covering up our lights. That's going to be a bit of a problem. We may have to work on putting some of the immersive engineering lights around here. Not those type. There are powered lanterns. If we look at the powered lantern, that's the regular one. Where's the powered lantern? I'm not seeing it. Well, let's take a look here. Okay, the powered lantern. Now this thing, it's not really all that much different than the regular lantern. The exception is this will keep mobs from spawning, I believe, in a 32 block radius around it. So that would be very beneficial at times. So let's go on to the next level of this thing, which looks like 3 light engineering blocks on the back, steel fences in a circle around a light engineering block, and then 2 light engineering blocks on the front. So that's all of our light engineering blocks, and this will be all of our hoppers as well, or all of our fences as well. So pretty much the only thing left is the hoppers for the top. Yep. And I would imagine we probably want these facing straight down into the fences. So we'll go ahead and place these all down, and this should be what we needed then. So let's go ahead and grab our hammer. There we go. Hazardous machinery. So I would imagine, I know this thing will crush mobs too, so I would imagine if you hop into it, it's going to do some damage to you. So that would be kind of a bad idea. So we do have a redstone input on this thing. We have a redstone input on the arc furnace as well. looks like, let's see here, that looks like an external heater almost. But there's our power input on this one. Where's our power input on this thing? Is that the power input? I don't know. But also it looks like we have... No, we can't change that, but that is definitely listed as an output. That's nice. So yeah, I would imagine that our power inputs on this thing is on the back. And based on what I'm seeing there, I'm guessing that thing requires some major power. So we've got this. Our next step is to hook power up to it. And then we will take a look at, hopefully, getting some aluminum. So as I've been waiting for this coke oven to get our blocks of coal turned into blocks of coal coke, I've been setting up some power lines here. So I want this to be the outer edge of the building here. And yeah, we've got power lines coming from the generator straight to there. We'll just have a hole for the wires to go through the side of the building. And then we will be running out to our large power transmission poles. So right now I've got all three legs of that set up, and we're pulling power off of this leg for the crusher. So I'm not sure how this thing works, but I would imagine I can just take this coke coal and toss it in here. Yep, oh my gosh. And so that's pushing it out here on the side, so we'll probably want to put a chest or something right there. Okay, so we have all 9 of those. So now we need to run this through the squeezer, and we will get one of the graphite dust. Now, the uses on this, we actually need 2 of those, and then a couple of lapis lazuli ore, and some paper, along with a black steel ingot to make our electrode blueprint. And I'm not sure what we need for that electrode after we get the blueprint made. So we're going to dump this into the squeezer, and then we'll go from there. I love the tree capitator mod. So we break this 1 block, and my gosh. Oh, that is beautiful. Alright, we've got everything together to make this blueprint now, so we're going to put black steel right there in the middle, the 2 hop graphite dust on each side, paper across the bottom, and some lapis lazuli ore on the middle, and that gives us our blueprint. So let's take a look at this blueprint and see what we need. I don't know. Okay, well, 4 hop graphite ingots. How do we make those? We need to put a graphite dust back through the blast furnace. Well, it's a good thing that I ran a little bit of extra coal through our coke oven, but this is going to take a little longer again, so I'll be back. Well, that took an awful long time, but I finally have 12 of these hop graphite ingots, and that's going to allow us to make 3 of these graphite electrodes, and I'm pretty sure that we need all 3 of those to make the arc furnace work. So we're going to go ahead and grab those real quick, and yeah, I'm pretty sure these take durability damage as they are being used. So we're going to go over and see if we can put these into the arc furnace now. I've also got the power hooked up to the arc furnace, and hopefully everything is going to work here. So I think we just click these in here. That should be ready to go. So let's go grab some bauxite, and we'll see if we can get some aluminum finally. And once we get the aluminum, we can start to replace some of our power lines with high voltage power lines. Of course, then we'll need some transformers and a few other things as well. So let's just see here now. Can we drop this stuff in here? There we go. So this is working by the looks of it. So this slowly melts all of these, kind of like Tinker's Construct smeltery. So each one is a little bit different. It's kind of weird the way that it melts. But so we are getting aluminum. Of course, we get slag with each one of these. So we're going to have to figure out a way to get the slag out of here too. But we're going to let all of this cook up. And we'll see about replacing these power lines with high voltage. Now, like I was saying, the high voltage we need for the poles, we're going to need these high voltage relays. So we need the insulated glass. Now that's going to require the green dye. And we have the malachite powder and we have a cactus. So the one thing about the cactus, if we look here, the way that we get the cactus green, does it not show it? Well, we can smelt a cactus, I believe. But let's just look up cactus real quick. Well, no, we don't want cactus. We want sand. So, sand, this TerraFirmaCraft sand, I've talked about this before, does not work for growing cactus. But we do have the ability to change gravel into regular Minecraft gravel into normal sand, I believe. Well, we used to. Well, we were able to, at one point, drop cobblestone into the crusher. And now that we have the crusher, I think I'm going to give that a try at least and see what happens. So we'll run over here real quick, and we have some claystone cobble laying here. So we'll grab a little of this, and we'll drop one of those into the crusher. And just see if this functions. If it doesn't, I mean, it's no major loss. We can use the malachite, but we'll just drop in a stack of this. So this will crush up, and let's see. So, yep, that makes Minecraft gravel. The uses on this stuff, we can use the enrichment chamber to turn it back into Minecraft cobblestone, or we can run it through the mechanism crusher to turn it into sand. So we're going to do that, and then I'm going to plant that cactus on it and just see what we can all do with that. But let's just quick look here. We've got the cactus. So the uses on the cactus, we can just smelt that right into the green dye. So, yep, we're going to set up a little bit of a farm for that so that we can have the... Oh, that's going to be a problem. We need to turn this off. Auto eject off. Okay. Well, I didn't get it in time. So what did that turn back into? Back into gravel. Okay, well, that's kind of interesting. So we'll let this sand go. We'll get that all set up. Where do we have a spot that we can put this thing? Well, we don't. So I always forget that it's faster to break that. So we'll place our cactus on here. Ooh. That's interesting. I know that's from the mod that adds these fluffy things here on the grass. Can't remember what it's called. But we're going to let this cactus grow. We're probably going to spread that farm out. We'll set it up somewhere. I don't know where. But I will let that grow, and I will be back. Well, we finally gathered up enough stuff to be able to lay in our first high voltage power lines. So the cactus farm is doing okay. We're up to 3 cactus now, but being that we had a whole bunch of the malachite powder here already, we're going to go ahead and use that to make our insulating glass. Now with the insulating glass, we can make our high voltage wire relays. These will be needed to hang from the power lines or anywhere that we want to have a non-connecting wire. So we're going to go ahead and make a whole bunch of these high voltage wires. We're not going to make as many of the high voltage connectors right now. We'll keep this around just in case. And now we're going to come over here to the other the other crafting table. So the next thing that we need to do, we need to put a few more of these wire coils in there. We need a little bit more iron. Yeah, a little bit. I grab a whole bunch. Okay, so we need 3 of these coils to go into this recipe. This will give us high voltage transformers. I guess we don't need 3 of them. We needed 3 of these. But we're going to go ahead and take a couple of these high voltage transformers. These will allow us to switch from high voltage back down to medium voltage so that we don't have to replace all of the wiring in our machine area. Now the next thing is these high voltage capacitors, which require medium voltage capacitors to build: treated wood, aluminum ingots, some lead blocks, steel sheets, and wrought iron double sheets. These things we're going to put over by the generator. So now we're going to go ahead and grab our engineer's hammer again, and we're going to head over and start laying some of this stuff out. So the first thing that I want to do, before we had the capacitors directly on the generator, this time we're going to do this a little differently. We're going to place our capacitors here on top of the wall section. We'll switch this side so that it's input. Don't fall. And then we'll change these to nothing. And I believe this side's already output, so we should be fine there. Next, we're going to take some of our high voltage connectors. We're going to put those onto this input side and down here on the generator. So now at this point, we will be able to take maximum output from the generator. So we will go ahead and run these up to the capacitor banks. And if we turn on this generator now, and I haven't even looked to see how much RF these things hold, but it will immediately start charging these. So it looks like they hold 4 million RF. So let's go ahead and turn the generator on and just see how much we're gaining here. Of course, that doesn't show... We're not showing anything really, but these are charging. So if we put a connector again on the other side of these will fill up with power. So we've got 4096 RF waiting to go in each one of those. Now in order to move our power with high voltage, we have to use these high voltage wire relays. Now these will only hang, and they cannot transmit power to a block. The other thing is these high voltage wire connectors can only have one wire attached to them. So if we place one of these here, we can't link from here to this connector and try to link here again. You can see it says you cannot attach this wire here. But we can attach another wire to this connector. So we are now supplying high voltage to our crusher. That's great. So I'm going to go ahead and set up these relays here as well for the arc furnace. And we're just going to slowly work on getting some of this stuff set up. Now we'll need to set up a power substation somewhere to convert from high voltage to medium voltage, but that'll be something that we'll have to worry about a little later on. But right now, I think I am going to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to leave a like. If you have any thoughts or comments or anything like that, be sure to leave it down below. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time.